is going on today, right? Particularly with this person. I don't know if you heard about George Santos, the Republican out of New York. So John Santos is facing federal and local investigations and public dismay. Prosecutors said on Wednesday that they would examine Mr. Santos, who has admitted lying about his work and educational history during his campaign. So federal and local prosecutors are investigating whether the representative-elect committed any crimes involving his finances and lies about his background on the campaign trail. So on the campaign trail, this man said, you know, he graduated college, he worked for Goldman Sachs, his grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and that he's Jewish. And then come to find out he was raised Catholic, he is Catholic, he never went to college, he never worked for Goldman Sachs.
Oh, is that a crime?
That he lied?
That's not a crime.
For a politician to lie?
They do all the time. So what exactly? Yeah, but it's not a crime. Was he under oath?
When you swore into the office, you swear.
Yeah, well, do you swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States?
Yeah, but now they're saying they're looking into if he made any crimes involving his finances.
Did he have probable cause?
Well, it says the federal investigation, which is being run by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn, is focused at least in part on his financial dealings. According to a person familiar with the matter, the investigation was said to be in its early stages. In a separate inquiry, the Nassau County, New York District Attorney's Office said it was looking into the numerous fabrications and inconsistencies associated with Congressman-elect Santos during his successful 2022 campaign to represent parts of Long Island. It was unclear how far the Nassau County inquiry had progressed, but the district attorney said in a statement that Mr. Santos' fabrications are nothing short of stunning, right? So, for instance, questions remain about Mr. Santos had generated enough personal wealth to be able to campaign finances filing shows to lend his campaign $700,000. Mr. Santos has said his money comes from his company, the Devaluer organization, but he has provided little information about his operation. So when you learn about your background, when you learn about your resume, because if you got hired at a job and then they found out you lied about your resume, especially your past,
that's not a crime.
But you would get fired.
Yeah, but that's not a crime. See, we're not talking about a private entity firing anybody. We're talking about the United States government or the state of New York prosecuting for criminal offense. What? So they want to look into him to see if he falsified financial information. Well, did he fail to pay tax? Is there a disclosure law that he violated? I mean, politicians lie all the time.
But this opened the door. They're basically saying, okay, let's look into his campaign finances. So when you get caught lying, because I said this earlier, all politicians lie. He just got caught. But being lying allows for district attorneys to come in and want to snoop around your finances.
No, it doesn't. Only certain instances. If you're under oath and you swore to tell the truth, that's perjury. If you falsified a government document that requires a valid and accurate response, and it declares at the bottom false information will be treated as perjury, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. If that's not one of the things, then fine. Look at somebody claiming to be Native American, and it turns out they're not, for example, or maybe they are, or somebody's saying they're Black and they're an NAACP chapter president, and somebody says no, and they look Black, but somebody says no, they're faking it, they're white. Well, you know, these aren't crimes. I mean, it may get you turned out of the position, but I mean, that's no law violated. You don't have to tell somebody the truth. In other words, who are you? I'm Batman. Well, who are you?
But it also goes to your
but so what?
Ethics, because you do pledge to uphold moral and ethic.
No, you don't pledge. No, that's interesting. There is no such oath or requirement to uphold morality and ethics when you take office.
What?
You swear that, no, there is none. You swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America.
You do have to have uphold moral and ethics.
No, you don't.
They have an ethics.
Look, most of the politicians in there right now, the way they're trying to destroy the family, childhood, trying to groom children, stuff like that, screw up womanhood, and all these kind of things. If there were morality and ethics clauses that they could be prosecuted for violating, most of them need to be way up under a jail. Or a lot of them anyway, not most.
But they even have Congress has an ethics committee. So
yeah, I know they have an ethics committee, but that's like you pass legislation. Hell, we've got folk here locally that did it, and I've got the goods on them where they got legislation that they proposed, passed, that they financially benefit from. So, I mean, that might be criminal, but it's not necessarily a violation to lie. I mean, it's distasteful. It goes to character, but there are a lot of unsavory characters who hold political office. Some of them are downright crooked. I am not a crook, tricky Dick Nixon, but he didn't get prosecuted for lying. He got prosecuted for complicity in committing a felony, to wit, burglary.
Well, all right. So you saying that he shouldn't step down? He said he wasn't going to step down.
I'd make him.
The GOP is not asking him to step down.
No.
You saying it's no big deal that he lied
about
his grandparents and having a college degree and his working for Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, but how about all these folk that tell you that they are representing you and they're in a closet somewhere and they don't want to come out, so they lied to you? Or that I promised to advance your interests when they're on somebody else's payroll or in somebody's back pocket. I mean, let's face it. What do we think of, well, lawyers? What Shakespeare say, first kill all the lawyers. We seem to think that my old profession is populated by boogeymen, Baba Yagas, let's say. And the other thing is do politicians have a reputation for telling you the truth? No, statesmen do, but not ordinary politicians. They lie all day long with a straight face. And the point is that's not what they're in office for. They're in office to deliver good governance. And if their constituents think they are, they return them to office. If not, they turn them out. So this is a new thing, a contrivance to try and what are they trying to do? The Democrats want to try and reduce the Republican margin in the House because they want control of both chambers so they can do some of their lying dog lie type stuff about destroying the American family, manhood, childhood, and womanhood because they want to roast, rip, and stain the fabric of the country for some kind of agenda that they have that seems to promote perjury, disloyalty, lying outright, and misrepresentation, grooming children, and all kinds of other things. So where do we start? Is it just one side is bad or both sides bad? And what is this? If you live in glass houses, don't throw stones. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. All of that kind of stuff.
All right.
See, what are you doing here? Come on now. He lied. Hell, about 85, 90% of the people holding office lie.
Don't judge him, Joe Brown.